control everything. Be moved by nothing. That's the rule whispered through history, carried by the sharpest minds, Machiavelli among them. The principle that doesn't fade with time, that bends kingdoms and sidesteps every cheap trend flooding your feed today. You staring at your screen at 2 a.m., heartbeat rising over someone else's filtered success. You've been taught that emotion connects us, gives life depth, makes us human. They sell you that because emotion clouds your vision. The green of envy, the deep red of shame, the neon pulse of desire. All distractions designed to fog your thinking just long enough for someone else to slip in, cross your boundaries, rewrite your plans. Take a breath, a slow one. No reaction. That moment, that's defiance. That single second of stillness reveals what they never wanted you to see, the strings. The invisible threads pulling in classrooms, offices, homes, even the so-called battlefield of ideas. Your teacher praises vulnerability until your individuality costs you points on the test. Your manager tells you to be open until your honesty becomes a tool in your next performance review. The person you love urges you to share everything until your truths get repackaged as ammunition in the next argument. It's all theater. You're told to bleed for the crowd, to clap for the script, to bleed again, while someone backstage counts your losses as their wins. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He watched as kings were crowned and exiled by flattery, not force. The tools change, curtsies swapped for emojis, court gossip replaced by viral posts. But the game remains the same. The first thing they need to conquer you is access to your feelings. The antidote? Controlled emptiness. Not detachment that turns you cold, not the absence of care, but a space, a deliberate pause between what they do and what you choose to feel. Build that pause like a wall. Let fear and pressure hammer at the gates while your strategy sharpens quietly inside. Imagine your life as a fortress, every unchecked emotion, a window left ajar. Some nights you throw them wide open, desperate for connection, craving to be understood, hoping someone sees the storm raging inside. That's when they slip in. You wake to find your peace stolen, your confidence gone, years wasted. Lock the windows, bolt them with thought. You decide when they open, how wide and for who. They'll call you guarded, accepted. Castles fall when the gates swing wide for every stranger's plea. At 20, they call it ghosting. At 50, they call it burnout. Same disease, different names. The cure? Seal the emotional leaks. The young waste themselves chasing strangers on apps. The older waste themselves on colleagues who will never repay the investment. Both bleed energy. Both lose leverage. You cannot steer your life while your emotions leak into other people's hands. Mastery begins with restraint. They tell you to love yourself with affirmations and bubble baths. They lie. Real self-respect is budget cuts for your emotions. Every feeling, it applies for funding. Will your anger buy justice or just more anger? Will your guilt purchase growth or just another apology no one asked for? Will your lust build legacy or leave you overdrawn? Only fund what furthers the mission. Machiavelli warned that people crave distractions, festivals, drama, chaos, so they don't notice their power slipping away. Today, those festivals are digital, viral trends, celebrity meltdowns, manufactured outrage, all designed to stir you just enough to drain your focus from the empire you should be building inside yourself. Refuse the festival. Tax your attention. Keep it for yourself. Some say, but without feeling, life goes gray. False. It sharpens. The sunset burns deeper when your mind isn't numbed by cheap stimulation. Laughter hits harder when it isn't diluted by forced office jokes. Love grows stronger when it's chosen, not begged for. Control the flame. Let it warm, not burn. Next time someone says, "I need you to listen," listen. But not like a sponge soaking up their toxins. Listen like a surgeon. Extract the facts. Discard the theatrics. Empathize, yes, but from a place of analysis, not absorption. Reply slowly. Let silence strain out their drama. Watch how fast manipulators panic when their bait hangs in dead air. Your parents guilt you with, "After all we've done." Your partner uses fear. "You'll never find better." Your boss uses urgency. "If this doesn't happen tonight, everything collapses." They're not requests. They're siege weapons. Meet them with a calm phrase. "I'll consider that." Consideration is the moat around your will. While they rant outside, you plan. Control starts when you own your mornings. Before anyone else lobs emotion at you, set your rhythm. Cold water, hard reps, written targets. Every act tells your instincts who's boss. Begin the day deciding, not reacting, and momentum becomes armor. At 18, detachment stops peer pressure from steering you into debt or mediocrity. At 25, it shields you from wasting years on jobs that impress no one. At 35, it protects your relationships from outside noise. At 45, it guards midlife from crises disguised as freedom. At 55, it frees you to teach without sacrificing your time. Build micro-detachment daily. Ignore one notification. Delay an impulse by 48 hours. Breathe twice before answering that midnight text. Each small refusal strengthens the muscle that lets you walk away when it really counts. When your peace, your sanity, your legacy is on the line. Machiavelli advised, "Better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Fear, translated as respect for your boundaries. When people learn that tears, tantrums, and time pressure bounce off your shield, they recalibrate. They bring logic or they leave. A few signals to watch for: an apology with a but. That's manipulation. Praise delivered right before a favor. Currency, not kindness. Someone trauma dumping on day one. Landmines, not intimacy. Smile, nod, step away. You owe them nothing. Detachment isn't isolation. It's choice. Archive the argument thread. Offer solutions, not sympathy. Hug your child, but don't let tantrums dictate dinner. Emotional discipline trains your circle. Bring logic, not games. The day you stop flinching at disappointment, superpower unlocked. Every no buys back time. Awkward silences reveal truth. Being misunderstood frees you from explaining to those unready to listen. Every boundary is a guard post. Every silence, a sniper tower. Every misunderstood moment, a pawn sacrificed to protect the king. Here's the mission. Detachment purifies love. When you don't need someone, you can truly choose them. Neediness breeds resentment. Freedom breeds respect. Friendships chosen in calm laugh louder than those forged in shared drama. Emotional control fuels creativity. A mind unchained from spirals spots opportunity others drown in. Boredom births ideas. Noise smothers them. Cut the noise. Chase fewer feelings. Create more results. The world values rarity. Calm under fire. Priceless. Logic at 3 a.m. Trusted. Presence without neediness. Respected. Scarcity becomes leverage. Leverage becomes freedom. Your discipline gets tested daily. Conflict? Detach from ego, speak facts. Temptation? Detach from impulse, wait 24 hours. Uncertainty? Detach from fear, act on data, not dread. Repeat. Results, not reactions. While others perform outrage, you produce outcomes. While they drown in irony, you build legacy. Emotion is a rental. Decisions require ownership. Choose partners, careers, principles that endure after applause dies. Worried you'll become stone? Machiavelli never taught stone. He taught steel. Flexible, lethal when needed, silent when not. Steel doesn't flinch at weather. It moves for purpose. Armor your psyche. Mute the outrage merchants. Study thinkers who outlived their critics. Machiavelli's truths echo because they outlasted his betrayers. The same games, new disguises. Study the timeless. Avoid being hijacked by the moment. Detachment scales. Master a moment, master a day. Master days, master eras. The only empires that endure, the ones that conquer themselves first. So when they say, "You've changed," reply, "I optimized." When they say, "What if they leave?" smile, doors swing both ways. When temptation whispers, "Just once," laugh. Discipline is not a part-time game. Spend time where quiet mastery thrives. Chess clubs, cold gyms, stoic books. Mastery grows in silence. The world may not clap, but your dividends, they multiply. You'll bury loved ones, outlive leaders, watch empires collapse. Grief comes, feel it once. Then store it where it can't be used against you. Mourn in private, build in public. Joy, the quiet, unshakable joy of ownership over self. Amid chaos, your half-smile says it all. The weather doesn't decide your direction. Feel less? No, feel wisely. Control everything? No, control what matters. Let the world guess your feelings. Let them guess your next move. While they wonder, you finish. That is Machiavelli's way, remastered for now. The map is drawn. The path is yours. Begin. And when you do, welcome to the altitude where few can breathe, and even fewer survive. Mastering detachment isn't about withdrawing from life. It's about stepping so far above the noise that you see the hidden patterns, the schemes behind the smiles, the invisible hands guiding the outcomes before they even unfold. That is where real power lives, in the space most people are too reactive, too emotional, too distracted to enter. You've seen it. The person who loses themselves in every argument, every rumor, every insult whispered behind their back. The one who gets tangled in social drama, addicted to the approval of crowds, enslaved to the reactions of others. Look closely. They're not living. They're being pulled like a puppet. Their strings jerked by whoever shouts the loudest that day. Machiavelli never wanted you to become cold or isolated. He wanted you to become untouchable, to see the battlefield clearly, not through the fog of emotion, but through the calm lens of strategy. And that starts with understanding the power of selective presence. Not everyone deserves access to your mind, your energy, your time. Treat your presence like a rare resource, scarce, valuable, controlled. When you're everywhere, involved in everything, your influence evaporates. But when you choose your appearances, when you walk into a room with timing, silence, and certainty, you don't just attend, you reshape the atmosphere. The loudest person rarely holds the most sway. It's the one who speaks after the noise dies, who commands attention by conserving it. They don't broadcast their feelings across social media. They don't overshare in meetings. They don't need to. Their aura does the work. But building that aura starts long before you enter the room. It begins in the hours no one sees, the discipline behind the scenes. Every early morning spent refining your skills. Every quiet evening dissecting your weaknesses. Every time you resist the urge to defend your ego in public, to react to provocation, to post for attention. All of it compounds brick by brick into an unshakable presence. Others leak their strength through impulsiveness. You stockpile yours. And that quiet reserve of energy, It terrifies people more than any aggressive display ever could. Think about it. The colleague who never rises to provocation. The leader who listens, unmoved while tempers flare. The partner who doesn't beg when threatened with abandonment. Their calm isn't emptiness, it's control. And control breeds respect far faster than performance ever will. But detachment doesn't mean absence of emotion. It means discipline over emotion. You feel, but you decide when and how to reveal it. Anger? You don't suppress it. You store it, refined, directed. Released only when its impact is undeniable. Desire? You don't deny it. You regulate it, cultivate it, channel it into your mission, not your distractions. Fear? You don't fight it. You observe it. You let it sharpen your focus, not cloud your judgment. Most people fear emotional distance because they equate it with loneliness. They're wrong. Emotional distance is space. Space to see clearly, to breathe deeply, to act deliberately. The loneliest people? They're the ones entangled in constant validation, desperate to be seen, to be needed, to be praised. Your goal isn't to escape human connection. It's to elevate it. When you detach from the approval cycle, the friendships you keep, they deepen. The love you offer, it strengthens. The respect you earn, it lasts. Because it wasn't bought with desperation. It was forged through quiet consistency. And consistency isn't loud. It isn't flashy. It's the quiet reputation that builds when you show up, composed, prepared, reliable, while everyone else burns themselves out chasing fleeting highs. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your detachment will make others uncomfortable. The insecure will call you arrogant. The impulsive will call you cold. The emotionally addicted will say, "You've lost your spark." Smile. Let them. What they're really saying is, your restraint exposes their weakness. Your calm highlights their chaos. Your boundaries threaten their control. Machiavelli understood. The powerful don't need constant defense. Their presence unsettles without aggression. Their words land without volume. Their strategy unfolds in silence, while others exhaust themselves in noise. And that silence, it's not passive, it's active discipline. Every moment you resist oversharing. Every time you observe before reacting. Every situation where you choose facts over feelings. You sharpen the blade they cannot see, but they can sense. Detachment isn't absence of passion. It's weaponized passion. Focused. Unapologetic. You don't chase attention. Attention reorganizes itself around you. You don't beg for loyalty. Your standards filter the worthy from weak. You don't drown in emotion. You steer through it, unmoved, unafraid. But none of this happens by accident. It's built, quietly, relentlessly. Audit your conversations. Who drains your focus? Who manipulates through guilt? Who tests your boundary, hoping you'll flinch? Remove them or retrain them. Your time, your energy, your emotions, their currency. Spend them where they produce returns, not regret. Audit your habits. Are you filling your head with outrage, entertainment, cheap stimulation? Or are you refining your focus, training your discipline, expanding your competence? The world rewards competence cloaked in mystery. The more they can't read you, the more they trust you. The world is designed to keep you reactive. Notifications, scandals, manufactured crises. Each one claws at your composure. Detachment is your firewall. Silence is your shield. Scarcity is your signal. Restraint is your weapon. And as your detachment deepens, so does your freedom. Freedom from manipulation. Freedom from reaction. Freedom from the shallow validation that enslaves so many. You choose when to engage, when to reveal, when to strike. While they scramble for attention, you accumulate leverage. While they perform outrage, you cultivate calm. While they chase belonging, you command respect. And eventually, they'll notice. They won't always like you, but they'll respect the walls they can't climb. They won't always understand you, but they'll adapt to the boundaries they can't bend. They won't always praise you, but they'll whisper about the presence they can't ignore. That is the power of detachment. Not emptiness, not absence, but quiet, strategic control. Control of your emotions, your time, your influence. The only question is, how disciplined are you willing to be? Because up here, in the rare air of restraint, most can't breathe for long. But those who master it, they don't just survive. They rule.